What could I win with my sports betting income? I could buy a new house. I could buy some new gadgets. I could go to the nice restaurants, get the top shelf liquor. I could enroll my kids in private school. I could buy a new car. Hello guys, welcome back to the most must-see talk show about sports betting on YouTube, and that is Sports Betting Truth. Little shout out to the Miz there. But anyway, if you watch the intro of this video, the one thing you cannot do if you're going to bet on sports, hopefully I made it pretty clear in the intro, and that is you cannot expect to win. You must expect to lose if you're going to bet on sports. Before I go further, I just want to say this video is brought to you by our friends at BetMGM and BetRivers. If you sign up today with BetMGM, if you live in Virginia, Colorado, Tennessee, Indiana, or Iowa, you can get up to a $600 risk-free first bet if you sign up with the link below. And if you sign up with BetRivers today, if you live in Pennsylvania or Illinois, you can get up to a $250 instant deposit match if you open an account with the link below. So keep your money in the United States, don't send it overseas. Sign up with BetMGM or BetRivers today. So when I say you must expect to lose, I literally mean you must expect to lose. That's right, you must expect to lose every bet. Every dollar that you bet with, you must expect that you will never see that dollar again. Because the problem with expecting to win, which is what most people bet on sports do, is that you begin to spend the money you expect to win in your mind, like I was doing at the beginning of the video in that hypothetical. You begin to think in your mind, man, when I win this, I'm going to do X, X, and X with my winnings. That's very dangerous. It's because expecting to win leads to chasing and problem gambling, because if you expect to win and you lose, what are you going to do? Well, since you expect to win, you're going to expect to win that money back, and you chase. And therefore, when you're chasing, that leads to problem gambling, because unless you actually make the money back, which is easier said than done, you're just going to dig yourself in a deeper and deeper hole. But since you continue to expect to win, you're going to expect yourself to dig yourself out of it by continuing to bet because you expect to win. And that is very dangerous. You must expect to lose if you're going to bet on sports. It is the number one thing. Expecting to lose, if I was to come up with the 10 commandments of sports betting, expect to lose would be number one, because it is that important. Because honestly, you shouldn't be betting with money you can't afford to lose in the first place. And second of all, winning is hard. If you watch my other videos, it's very hard to win at sports betting. 99% of people are going to lose. So if the odds are against you, then why would you expect to win? You really think you're a special snowflake who's going to buck the trend and be one of the 1% who, maybe 1%, that's probably a high estimate, but one of the 1% who does win? I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have a goal to be in that 1%, but it's a different thing to expect to be in that 1%. You could shoot for it, but you shouldn't expect it. And guess what? Even if you do win, even if you do buck the trend and become one of that 1% who does win, the edges are tight and the profits are small. Trust me, guys, I consider myself, at least these days, to be in that 1%. And trust me, I'm not raking in money hand over fist. My profits are not big. It's not like I'm going down to the car dealership and buying a new car with my winnings. The profits are small, and they're so small, all I really do is just reinvest it back into my bankroll. I don't do anything special. So to truly illustrate the fallacy of expecting to do meaningful things with money you do when betting on sports, if you're fortunate enough to do so, let me show you my betting history from the moment I ever placed my first bet. To really illustrate the point here is a graph. This is my lifetime betting history. So I started betting in 2011 with college basketball, and ever since, here's my stats. So life to date, I am up about 46 units, 4.2 units per year on average. So if I was winning 4.2 units per year, and say I was betting $1,000 a game, that's about $4,200 a year, or about $350 a month on sports betting. That might be like a side income, kind of, but it's not going to be anywhere near a full-time income. You're not going to go on vacation with that much money. You're not going to be able to go buy a car with it or buy a house. You're not going to be able to live like a baller with that kind of income, and that's average, right? So let's talk about my best year. That was 2019, mainly because I had a very good November and December betting on college basketball, and I won 53.23 units in 2019. Say I was betting $1,000 a game, that's $53,000. That's a lot of money, but again, $1,000 a game, that's a high bankroll, and not everybody does that. I certainly don't. I could tell you that my average bet size in 2019 was about $150. So if we do 150 times J13, That is about $8,000, which is correct. That is how much money I won in 2019, $8,000. You know, it's good side income, but I made more money than that in a paycheck per month than the whole year of sports betting in 2019. That's my best year, betting an average of $150 a game in 2019, and I still didn't even hit the $8,000 mark. 8,000 divided by 12, that's about $665 a month that I was winning betting on sports. You know, a good side income, but like I said, you're not going to live like a baller. So I hope you're getting the point here, but what about my worst ever year, 2012, minus 30 units pretty much. If I was betting $1,000 a game, that would have been minus $30,000. Does anybody around here have $30,000 to lose? I don't think so. So that's the fallacy of raising your unit sizes. That's the fallacy of the logic saying you're just not betting enough per game. What if you have a bad year? What if you have a bad month? What if you go on a cold streak? Then you're losing a lot faster. Yeah, you might not have an upside of when you're winning, but you're going to be losing a lot faster. So I hope this really illustrates the point I'm making here. Even in my best year, betting $150 a game, which is a lot, I don't think a lot of people out there can afford to bet $150 a game. My bankroll was about $15,000 to $20,000 at the time. $8,000 for the entire year, $665 for the month. That's side income at best, but that's if you're winning. If you're winning, and most people don't win. So this is like almost a best case scenario right here. And that, I feel like, illustrates the point I'm trying to make, is that you cannot expect to win. And even if you do win, it's not going to be like you're raining money. Hopefully that really illustrates how foolish it is to expect to do meaningful things with money you win betting on sports. If you're fortunate enough, big if, to win money. I mean, those are meager profits. Meager profits. Over a span of 11 years, averaging 4 units, 1 per year. About, divided by 12, that's about, let's round up 0.33 units per month. Let's round up to 0.5 units per month over the last 11 years. That is nothing, guys. There are no rags to riches stories when it comes to betting on sports. There is a video out there I've seen by another sports betting YouTuber who I shall not name, and he has a video titled, How to Grow Your Bankroll from $1,000 to $50,000, as if it's easy. It's not easy, guys. Going from 1,000 to 50,000, it's not going to happen because you're not going to be able to get the unit sizes down to be able to grow your bankroll that much. If your bankroll is only $1,000, I would advise that you bet no more than $10 to $20 a game, and at a win rate like I was having, like 4 units per year, you're going to be making what, $80 to $100 a year if you had my win rate? You're going to die before you get to $50,000. You're going to die before you get to $5,000. So that video is very misleading, and if you want to see why I hate videos like that, check out my other video titled The 10 Things I Hate About Other Sports Betting YouTube Channels, because that is a prime example of the garbage out there that is misleading. There are no rags to riches stories betting on sports. There's so many people who move here to Las Vegas who say, I have $5,000 in my pocket and I'm going to try to make it as a sports bettor full time. Not going to happen. A $5,000 bankroll is not enough to sustain a full-time income. Even $2,000 a month will be very difficult with a $5,000 bankroll, and $2,000 a month is like the minimum to live in a crappy apartment and everything else. So if you use my betting history over the last 11 years, winning 4.2 units per month, or let's round it up. Let's just say, be optimistic. Let's say I was winning half a unit a month. I would have to be betting $757 a game to go from $1,000 to $50,000 over the last 11 years. It's not going to happen. $750 a game starting at $1,000, that would be 75% of your bankroll right off the bat. And what if you lose it? Oh no, thanks for playing, you lose. So very foolish to expect anything like that. But yeah, in order to grow your bankroll that much, you're going to have to be betting like $750 a game, and most people just can't afford to do that. And I know what people are going to say. They're going to be like, yeah, but you could play a 15-team parlay and bet $100 on it. If it wins, you're going to be set for life. Well, I mean, you could go to the gas station down the street and buy some lottery tickets, and you might win the jackpot and win millions of dollars. But I'm talking about what the average person can expect. I'm not talking about outliers on the bell curve, extreme outliers in this example, you know. You can go to a slot machine at the casinos here and win the progressive jackpot and win $3 million. I mean, it can happen, yeah, but I'm talking about what the average person can expect betting on sports. There's going to be no rags to riches stories, so you're not going to be able to transform a $5,000 bankroll into $100,000 unless you have incredible luck, an incredible model, or you're just able to find a way to increase your bankroll via other means, like having a job to where you can fund that bankroll and get it up. But you're not going to be able to realistically grow a bankroll from $5,000 to $50,000 or $100,000 simply by betting on sports. It's just not going to happen because you're not going to be able to get the amount of money down that you need to grow the bankroll that fast. Most people get impatient, increase their bet sizes, and they will sink because of that. So when I say only bet with money you are okay with losing, and when I say okay with losing, 100%, assume every bet you make is a loser. And therefore, when you're budgeting for how much your bankroll should be, assume it's all gone. A lot of people do this wrong. They don't know how to budget. When I say only put money into your betting bankroll that you can afford to lose, I mean after you've paid your bills, paid your rent or mortgage, after you've invested in all your retirement accounts and 401ks to get the match, after you've put money into your savings, and after you've paid all your bills, everything. After you've done all that, if you have any money left over, then you can put that in your bankroll. So when people are going to inevitably make fun of me for saying I had a bankroll of only $15,000 in 2019, you got to remember, I was fully funding my retirement accounts. I was putting money in my savings. I was paying a pretty expensive rent in San Diego and all that. So $15,000 is money that I could afford to go bye-bye completely, all $15,000, and still keep on chugging along as if nothing happened. You can't put the cart before the horse. So your betting bankroll should be money you're completely okay. If it just vanished overnight, you would be able to be okay. I'm not saying you'd be able to survive. I mean, you'd be able to keep on rolling as if nothing happened. That's what your sports betting bankroll should be. Money you can afford to lose 100%. So when you have the inevitable people in my comment section making fun of me for not having a big bankroll, if they can afford to have a bankroll of $100,000 and lose it all, I guarantee you most of the people who are bet size shaming don't, but let's play along, then maybe they can't afford to blow $100,000 and lose it all. Maybe they can, but most people can't. And this is where I circle back to what I call the betting for fun fallacy. I talk to a lot of people who say, I know I'm not going to win long term, but I like to bet on sports anyway because I like to just have action on the game to make it more fun to watch, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that on the surface, but let me ask you this. I call this the betting for fun challenge, and that is, what if I told you you were going to automatically lose 10% because that's the expected loss of a bet? What if you were going to automatically lose, no matter what, 10% of every sports bet you placed? Would you still do it? Most people would probably say no. And so I say, if you are going to bet for fun and you are not making plus EV bets, then what's fun about losing? Because that, I guarantee you, that's what's going to happen if you don't have a strategy to get down plus EV bets, like having a model or anything like that. So I think a lot of people justify betting by saying, well, I'm just doing it for fun to make the game more exciting. But in the back of their mind, they're probably thinking, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to profit, I'm going to win long term. And they're just rationalizing it away by saying they're just doing it for fun. So ask yourself, before you bet for fun, what if you made 100 bets during the month and I told you a month from now you're going to go 50 and 50 and lose 5 units of whatever bet size you're making? Would you be okay with that? Would you still go ahead? If I could see the future and tell you you're going to go 50 and 50 and lose 5 units, if I could see the future and told you that, would you still do it? Ask yourself. Before betting for fun, you got to ask yourself that question. You got to be honest with yourself. Because like I said, even if you have a really good year, a really good month, a really good week, I mean, your profits are still going to be so small unless your bankroll is already big enough to begin with. The people who are making significant money betting on sports are the ones who are already rich, which is why there's no rags to riches stories. If you can afford a bankroll of $100,000, then chances are you're already pretty set financially, so you're not going to be able to create a rags to riches story. The people making significant money already have significant money, so you got to keep that in mind. So to wrap this video up, you got to understand, before you place a bet on sports, you cannot expect to win, you must expect to lose, and you have to be okay with losing 100% of every bet you place. As long as you do that, you're probably going to avoid problem gambling territory, you're probably going to enjoy the process a lot more, and learn to appreciate sports betting more than just winning and profit. Anyway, that wraps this video up. If you like this video, hit the like button. That's the best thing you can do to support this channel. And apart from that, stay tuned right here to Sports Betting Truth for all of your actual sports betting needs and not garbage. Until next time, this is Sports Betting Truth, signing off.